Yeah, I mean, and I get where you're coming from, but that's doing a great disservice to a guy who did some unbelievable things. Like, you're kind of, there wouldn't be a manager in the Premier League or any club in the world that wouldn't want Harry Kane in their team. Like, that's the reality of it. So you can't say that that because he's here, that's sort of stymied the club into having success. I just don't buy into that. I just think he's done what his utmost to try and have success at this football club, and it hasn't worked for a number of reasons. What we do know about this game is that it's very, very, very rare that an individual will be the difference. It's usually the collective. So what that offers us now, as you said, an opportunity to build a collective that brings us success. And within that context, you still want outstanding individuals. You still want the best players. That doesn't change. It's not like you kind of dismiss someone just because he's been part of something that hasn't been successful. That might be because of other reasons rather than what he's trying to bring to it.
Dan?
Just to follow up on that, Ange, there is obviously going to be a kind of vacuum in the dressing room in terms of leadership and on the pitch in terms of goals. Do you see, in a positive way, that being filled by other players stepping up and perhaps kind of emerging from Harry's shadow, as it were?
Well, potentially, like I said earlier, that's all you can do is create that space and then see what grows from there, because that there is sometimes that element of it where people maybe suppress themselves to a certain extent because they understand that there's a unique individual in the room that has such great presence and is such a force on and off the field that having that space there maybe does, but there's no guarantee that does either. That just the opportunity is there, put it that way, as you said. And with all these things, there's opportunities. What you've got to try and do is what the great clubs do, the great organisations, is replace greatness with greatness. Now, how that comes about is not easy. It's not easy, but that's what the big clubs do. They find a way to sustain and maintain and grow, even when the greatest, leave their doors.
And over the years at Spurs, when Harry's been injured in the past, there's always been this debate about whether Son is a striker. Some of your predecessors made it very clear he wasn't a striker. Others thought he could play there. Do you think he could play through the middle, kind of semi-regularly for you? Do you see that being an option?
Yeah, I don't see it. I wouldn't rule it out. I've known Sonny for a long time, and watched his career develop. There's no doubt he could play centrally in my mind, especially the way we play. I mean, again, I think that's where the nuances lie, is that different managers have different ways of setting up their team. And in some teams, I could see where Sonny couldn't play as a central striker. But the way we play and the way we're going to play, I definitely see him as an option to play in the central area.
And just one for Leeds, is it kind of how far away, how ready is he to play minutes in the Premier League?
Yeah, no, it'd be a while for him. I think we just got to let him settle again. He's come halfway around the world. He's a young guy. It's a fairly different level. He's one we will invest in the long term, but I wouldn't expect him to see any minutes over the sort of first part of the season.
Okay, Ed, finish with